right, we're live. What's good, everybody? It is I, Tenzin, one third of the SOS podcast. Yes, and I am taking the helms in this ship once again. How y'all doing today? We got a good show going on. We're gonna have Soluv in the house, and oh, he's right on time. Look at him. Oh, he said, "I may be black, but God, not gonna be late. That's for sure." Anyway, let me send these invites out to my brothers so they can join us as well. Hold on, most dope. There we go. Send that there. Hey, GTM TV just joined us. How goes it? What the fuck? Hello, who am I talking to?
Pardon me. How you doing, brother? Can you see
Hey,
me?
hold on. Let me. I see you. I see your stuff. Okay, now I see you.
Pardon me, brother. How you doing, man?
Good, good. I hear some weirdness in the background. A little like. Do you hear anything?
No, not now. Is that
Okay. I guess I'm just
here
hearing
now?
it. Uh,
Can you
but
hear it still?
yeah, I'm hearing it still, but I can still hear you, so it's all good.
How about
Hey,
this? You want to try it again? Want to try to go back out and try it again? Maybe something on my end. I can
yeah,
try to
yeah,
do
yeah.
something.
Try to leave and come back, see what's going
All right. All right.
on. Okay, just a little technical difficulty. We had a little weird sounds going on, but anyway, thanks to the people who joined us already. Just waiting on my siblings to get up in here so we can really rap, rap about hip hop with Solo of Hip Hop One. But yeah, he's a cool guy. I met him through Eccentric, and he told me his story. And yeah, he's a real hip hop scholar. So hope to chop it up with him. Also, we were having some interesting conversation at the, I guess now closed restaurant Crave. Hopefully he remembers what we were saying. I kind of remember what we were saying, but the music was so loud. Hey,
Hey, how you doing, brother?
good, good. I mean, I still hear it, but I'm just gonna rock with it. Okay.
All right. Thank you. I'm sorry.
All
I don't hear it, but I don't know what, so I can't fix it. But I'm here,
right.
brother.
When they reminisce over you, my
My
God.
God. My God.
Man, you know, it's funny, like I remember when you told me that your favorite song was They Reminisce Over You.
Yes.
And the funny thing about it, like, it's not my favorite song, but like that song actually has a special place to me as well. Because, you know, growing up, I was like a little gamer kid. I was always on the PS2,
Okay.
and one of the games on PS2 was NBA Street Volume Two. And
Okay.
so, like, when the game starts up on the loading screen, you see one of the characters stretch. You know, you got the big afro and shit,
Yeah.
and it's like you just hear it.
Dun, 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 dun. And it kept looping. Or his
No, they
character.
I mean, they didn't loop it. Like they did let it play, but like I'd always hear like that those horns, and I was like,
Hmm.
damn, that's a real hip hop feel right there. And plus,
Yes.
mixed with basketball and stuff. So it's crazy how you say like that was like the song. Like, would you say that's the song that made you get into hip hop, or you just say that's
No.
just
Oh no, that's my favorite hip hop song. Not even favorite hip hop song, the favorite song of all time. It is basically thank you very much. It is basically like it was the best song that for me it incorporates every aspect of hip hop. It was family, it was lyrics, it was music, it was like just touching base with everything that mattered to hip hop to me. So for me, that's why I was. Hey, what's up, brethren? How y'all doing, brothers?
oh yeah.
What's
So
up?
let
What's up?
without further ado, below me here. That's my older brother, Folkland Los, and we got to give him his
How you
flowers
doing, brother?
because not only does he have a Grammy consideration, but
That's
he's also
peace.
going to be featured on the upcoming Cool G Rap album coming out
Ooh.
December what? I forget the number.
December
Huh?
December 9th.
December 9th. All
I
right,
thought you
Okay.
was doing it for
Okay.
1209.
Bitch,
dramatic
what's
effect.
up, this bitch?
And
Yeah.
below you, Solo, that's my younger brother, B.
What's
He
up?
has
What's
What's
up,
going on,
everybody?
man? How y'all doing, man? Nice meeting y'all, man.
Nice
Yeah.
meeting you too, brother.
Thank y'all for having me and everything. I appreciate it very
brothers
much. I
from different
appreciate what y'all
mothers.
doing.
All right.
Hey,
I apologize
You know?
for chinching you on the promo, bro. Like that was no intent to be disrespectful or flip it. Like I suffering from a little stomach flu past week, bro. I couldn't muster the strength. But
Nah,
yeah, bro, we're gonna find a way to give you flowers You know what I mean? Because everybody deserves a proper promo for the show. So we're gonna do something to like commemorate the show or something.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
sir. Appreciate that.
Post up or something like that.
I can definitely appreciate that. But I live in the present. I'm an old head, so I live in the present. So you here now? I'm you here now? I'm here now. And we gonna make the best of what we got right now. So
That's
whatever didn't occur or what is, we gonna make the best of it because that's hip hop.
yeah,
Hip hop is like no matter what circumstance, we still gonna make it happen.
Right.
And that's everything I'm trying to just get across in my movement. You know what I mean? It's like I am one of those so-called old heads. You know what I mean? But I have an open heart and open mind to music in general. It just gotta have feeling. You gotta come from somewhere. It gotta come from here.
yeah,
If it don't, why am I listening to you? If you just I don't care about this shit. Why? Excuse me. Well, why are you listening to it? You know what I mean? So I have people. You know what this is? I don't care. It's like no, I don't. You supposed to tell me what it is. You
yeah,
know what I mean? So for me, I'm just excited about every opportunity to be present in hip hop.
yeah,
You know what I mean? To be present in the moment, just to hear what Coogee rap for me. I'm like, I want to hear what you got going. Coogee rap to me. Coogee rap to me is
yeah,
one of the best. I remember when I heard Two to the Head for the first time. Coogee rap with Ghetto Boys. Oh my goodness! Like it did something to
Uh,
not just
I gotta
not
check that
just
out. I didn't know he collabed with them.
Two to the Head is one of the craziest, illest tracks ever, ever. That whole album is slick, but that Two to the Head with him and Ghetto Boys, oh my goodness! And that's what I feel we need to bring to the forefront of hip hop again. Is like having a verse that, like when Jay-Z with the God did. Everybody talk about this verse. Yo, you heard that verse? Oh my God, that should change lives. That should make people feel good for days. You know what I mean? So
I listening to like I guess people aren't aware, but I guess like there was like a real battle for New York back in like the early '90s, like mid '90s, before like Biggie passed away and shit. And
yeah,
like, it was talking about just how competitive they was and how important the sources quotable section was. Like they was racking that up like NFL players rack up touchdowns. You know what I mean? Like they was
yeah.
really
Hip
count.
hop quotables.
Yeah, like damn, I got 5 of them shits. Like compared to your however many. You know what I mean? And it was like there was this one part where like Biggie was talking about how he had more album sales, but he ain't. I guess that really ain't mattered much to him as winning the lyricist of the year over
It
Nas.
didn't.
You know what I mean?
It
Like
didn't.
when he won lyricist of the year over Nas, that's when he really felt like he made it. You know what I mean? Like now
Hmm.
shit. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy for real. Like
And that's and that's what I love about the culture, the industry, the whole mixing of it because it was like there's been times in hip hop, milestone moments where it was like either you're gonna choose the industry or the culture. And
yeah,
I'm gonna say that about 75% of the time the culture won.
yeah,
75% of the time culture won.
yeah,
25% of the time the industry just said, we're just gonna flush it. But I think about that moment you just mentioned about Biggie went over Nas, or
yeah.
Nas went over Biggie. It was like, yo, oh my God, like his lyrics matter. You know what I
Right,
mean? I'm not saying Biggie wasn't a lyricist, but Biggie was a lot of flash.
right, yeah,
You know, because he represented the flash, the shiny suit era. He
yeah,
ushered that shit in.
yeah,
So I respect Biggie, but for me, the songs that really resonated was, back in the days when that joint first came on, when he talked about my mama got cancer in the breast,
right,
that was hip
yeah,
hop. Sky's the limit. That takes you somewhere where, not just hip hop, but music.
yeah,
That stuff that my grandma used to listen to and all that. You know what I mean? So I love the fact that the industry, no matter how much it wants to dictate the flow of things, the culture has the power when they recognize it. Jay-Z and Nas. I always tell people that was a matter of culture versus industry,
mm,
and we seen what happened. I was in New York City at the time. I'm from the Bronx. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my history, but I'm from the Bronx. You know what I mean? And at the time, I was in New York City, so I heard Flex drop the bomb on Ether. Oh my God, the whole city, and I say that there's been moments too, like the whole city was lit because all he did was play Ether for like almost like 45 minutes to an hour,
yeah,
dropping bombs over and over again. Oh my God, bomb, drop the bomb.
That had
And it
to
was
be
that
lit to
Flex
be
shit.
there though.
It was,
Like,
oh,
but the experience, and for me, I got a funny story. I had a little shorty in the crib, you know what I mean? And she was a nice little, sexy little thing, but she was a modern woman, and she fucked with Jay-Z heavy. Like, are you bugging? Nah, but she was mouth open, aghast, but she's like, oh my God, did you hear what he said? I'm like, I don't think you did. I heard it, but it was the radio, so you couldn't really get the full effect
Hmm.
without that simple of fuck Jay-Z. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Hearing that, it was like, oh shit.
You
From
ever,
the first time you heard it.
you ever watch like Marvel movies and or like just read Marvel comic books and they talk about Nexus events? I swear,
Yes.
I feel like Ether is a Nexus event for me. I really don't know where I was headed to before Ether,
Okay.
but after Ether, I knew where I was going. Like I knew exactly where my life.
Right.
Yeah, man, and I just remember, like
Yeah.
I remember I was with I was with my brother and like this is crazy. We was with our English teacher playing hooky from school, and we was
Mm.
riding around for a half hour listening to Ether with our English. Now, mind you, our English teacher was like 20 some
Ooh, that's education for you.
Right.
That's a real education. That's a real education for you.
like 20 some odd. And he knew we used to break. He knew we used to cut school, so he knew we
Mm.
would cut school out. He pulled up on us, and we thought we was in trouble. And he told us to get in his whip. We thought for sure we was gonna go to school, be in trouble. And he was like,
Mm.
"Listen to this shit." We just rode around listening to Ether for a half hour,
Mm.
going fucking crazy. And I knew, like, I knew what I was gonna do in my life after that. Like,
And for me, the moment that I and that's where I'm gonna go back to like who I am to kind of give a little more, because for me, I fell in love with hip hop through my mom's
mm-hmm,
and where I grew up. Like I grew up in Rosedale, like say on Crows Avenue, which was between Bronxdale Projects and Bronx River Projects. Now you got people hear about, Africa Bambaataa. Like imagine, you go to the park and you see Africa Bambaataa walking down the street saying what's up to your moms.
yeah,
Hey, what's up? That's my mom's
Hmm.
Kumo D walking down the street.
Did he have all
Yo,
that get
yeah.
up on too? Like,
Yes, he did. I say that to him, it wasn't a get up, and to him, I think it was just a matter of him
I,
embracing his African roots.
yeah,
And it was, and the thing was, is it was at a time where we didn't have an identity. So for me, I don't like like the whole story of African Bada. We can't really say he was the best of us because of what his legacy will be held as. But
hmm.
he was a gatekeeper. He was a strong force and influence to keep it moving.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So I have to. So sometimes, and this is where I'm gonna get to too, separating the art from the culture. So yeah, he had to get up. But my mom's, she was friends with like Andre Harrell, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. There was DJ Darryl James, used to be a Hot 98.7. He used to be on the radio all the time. Friends with the original Spinderella. So I grew up in an environment where hip hop was there. My mom was a rapper. Her name was Little D. You know
mm-hmm,
what I mean?
D. Okay.
And my
Is
mom was a
any of her tracks still out there?
Oh no. She was. Let's say this.
She was
Remember, this is
battling.
before. This is. We're talking about the '70s now. So the
Okay.
'70s, not everybody had the privilege to record.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? Sometimes sometimes the best you could do is I had a street party. I rocked the jam one time. You know what I mean? So this is why I tell people like a lot of us like we have to connect with the youth because what's happening is that we're forgetting that hip hop was something that was supposed to be a fad. It's not. This is the first time we've been here. You know what I mean? And we're expecting people to know how to behave in a culture that has no leader, has no forefather. You know what I mean? Because every forefather, what do they do in record and business with us? They've
mm-hmm,
always taken our money, didn't allow us to build a foundation. And then when those who got there, they just said, all right, cool, I'm going to do the same thing the Europeans are doing, so we're going to keep it going. But that's another story anyway. But, but hip hop, so for me growing up, hip hop was the language. I remember like being 9 years old, seeing dudes, battle in the street, and the dude was like, yo, stop the battle. I'm a rap. And he said some punchline, some funny shit like you hear every day when you hear motherfuckers battling. They beat the dude up. Like, we don't hear that stupid shit. Get out of here. I remember that. Like, what? You trying to make us this ain't funny? We playing. This is who I am, dog. You think this is funny? Punched him in the face. And I'm looking like, yo, that's real. So knowing, yo, you can't even get on the mic if you was whack. If you ain't got nothing to say, don't grab the mic. That's how real it was.
yeah,
And then also too having a station listen to your music. At one point, I remember my uncle, we used to have to go to sleep on, let's say Sunday night, you go to sleep. But Monday morning at 2 a.m., you got to press record on your cassette so you can hear some hip hop. But you got to go back to sleep. So you can't listen to it because if you hear it, you're going to be hyped. Oh, you bugging. You don't
Hmm.
go to sleep. but it's Monday morning. You gotta go to school in the morning. So
Yeah,
now you wake up in the morning and you got half a cassette because you didn't flip it over. Or if you was lucky enough, you woke up, flipped it over, like, yeah, I still got the whole show. But
yeah,
you hear that music and you carried it. So that means we had an hour of hip hop for a week.
yeah,
Damn, that's
Wow.
crazy. That's like, hey, yo, beats. Like that's kind of like the anime struggle that we used to
Yeah.
have, sort of like, kind of, sort of like had to,
Yes.
like, go to
Oh man,
YouTube, like
staying up
watching
till
a
3 o'clock in the
280p, like,
morning,
oh
bro.
yeah, but yeah, going on Toonami, staying up to 4, trying to watch Ghost in the Shell. So okay,
Yeah.
But that's why there's such a parallel between hip hop and anime. Because I mean, too, like Fist of the North Star, like people don't give that people don't give that much credit. But that's what I heard Method Man say. Wu-Tang, I'm the true Fist of the North Star. What that was to me, that was letting the world know that people was into anime. I read comic books. I'm a comic book, they say comic book nerd. No, I've been through the Infinity Gauntlet when it first came out. I was with the Secret Wars when it first came out, buying the comic books. I was with when Venom first came out. Remember when Carnage first came out? Like I remember when
Let them
DC
know,
had
brother.
the Infinite
yeah, there
Crisis.
we go.
You know, what I mean, the Final Crisis, DC and all that. Before I remember Batman, the killing I voted to kill Robin. Like I remember that shit. I voted.
What the fuck
Fuck
is
that,
wrong
kill that
with you?
motherfucker.
I was like,
You
Kill
voted
him,
on
kill his
Death in
ass.
the
And
Family.
when he died, I felt bad because I felt like I had something to do with it. Like, damn, that's messed up.
but
They
you
killed my man.
then if I can remember right, you ain't killed the original one, right? You killed the second one.
Nah, it was the second one. It was the bootleg version. It was the bootleg version.
That's why y'all
but
ain't killing because y'all really
I,
wanted to
I
one.
can imagine a kid being like, "Holy shit, I didn't think they were gonna do it."
Nah, I didn't think he was gonna do it, but they killed his ass. And you felt bad. I mean, I felt bad. I was like this. I read the comment like, damn, this is messed up, man. How they gonna kill Robin, yo? And you remember like, damn, I did call a number, and I paid $1.99 to call a number, so and got in trouble for it too. You
You
know,
paid a dollar.
And it was a brutal death too. Like that's the
it
other
was.
thing. Like he didn't. It wasn't.
I
It
can,
wasn't a sniper bullet. He didn't feel no pain. This boy got worked over by a crowbar and set on fire. Like
A fire, yes. And
like,
and and,
are
and,
you
and
happy,
back then,
Soluv?
and back then they didn't really have. They didn't start it up where you came back. So it was like, damn,
yeah,
he dead. Like, but a couple times in childhood when they killed Optimus Prime and Transformers the movie, I remember being in the movie theater like, yo, what the fuck? How they gonna do this? like having your whole childhood, your idol, your hero,
yeah,
dead within the first half an hour of a movie, which you waited your whole lifetime to get to. It was kind of like Infinity War. You know what I mean? When you
yeah.
walked out, like, damn, Black Panther 2? For
Right.
me, that was one. Like, damn, Black Panther 2? I knew everybody else supposed to go, but damn, the brother had to go too. He just had the biggest hit on the world, but now he fucking, excuse me, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But the thing is this, for me, so for to have that parallel to anime and hip hop, you know what I mean? That it did something, and I love the Wu-Tang because the Wu-Tang allowed us to sit there and say, yo, this is what we do. Saturdays,
yeah,
you get up in the morning, watch cartoons. You know what came on? You would go outside, right? After cartoons, you go outside, hang out for a little bit. Now you get hungry. It's about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. You go back home. Guess what was on? The Chinese flicks on the drive-in movies.
mm,
They're on. So now we're sitting there going looking at the Chinese flicks, and we into that. You probably fall asleep to it. But wake up, it's nap time because you tired. You've been up since 8 o'clock. Sugar rush then came down. You wake up to it, then you watch some joint, and you see your uncle. You know what I mean? Your father, your stepfather. You know what I mean? People in the family, they sitting there talking about it, and they want to try and move out on you. You know that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, come here, you gonna be the crash test dummy. Come in for the day. You know. But all that was it. But what all it taught us was that we didn't have 3 TVs in the household. We had 1 TV in the household. So we
yeah,
had to come together and digest and be stimulated mentally, and that all aspects of hip hop. So for me, I come from that's where I come from. I come from
yeah,
my stepfather. He got a collection right now out of this world, but he had records. I mean, talking about crates of records. He wasn't a DJ, but he just loved music. To this day, he still got a vinyl. He still listens to vinyl. Just hearing that crisp. We're on a
mm,
record, just hearing that deep, soulful sax. As you mentioned about like what they reminisce over you. So for me, hip hop has always represented family. You know what I mean? Because that's
yeah,
who gave me hip hop. I didn't learn about hip hop outside of my house. I didn't go outside for hip hop.
yeah,
I basically just woke up one day, was like, can you turn that down? I want to watch my cartoons. And then I heard Beats to the Rhyme. That was the song. Beats to the Rhyme by Run DMC.
Mm.
It was chaos. It was magic. It
yeah,
was lyrics. It was power. It was blackness in its full mode, and it made me feel strong, and it made me feel great just as a little boy. Because I
Mhm.
was about 6 or 7 years old, and I said, "That's it.
Mhm.
Right.
That's it. That's
Mm.
the moment that I knew." Like you said, that Nexus moment.
Yeah.
And that was for me that beast to the rhyme. And then from there, I just see the development of Run DMC, but like hip hop, has many eras, many forms. So I was open to, but it had to have soul.
Mhm.
I remember like one of my favorite rap of all time, and like it goes back to CL Smooth from P Rock, CL
Mm.
Smooth.
Yeah.
They remember over you. Reason why he's my favorite rapper because in a time where everybody was trying to be hard, everybody was trying to sell drugs. Everybody was trying to do this. He said, "Yo, I'm just a cool dude, like to
Right.
mess with the ladies. I got a family I'm trying to raise. I just want to, make sure that I make it out the hood." And he did. And he did in a way that was respectful. When he talked about music, when you got, lots of loving, straighten it out. But when it's time to get hard, it was trying to get hard. When
Right.
he said, don't, when he challenged Cool G Rap to do a song and say, don't curse. And
Yeah.
Cool G Rap agreed to it. Come on, man. Like, Heavy D,
Yeah.
Cool G Rap agreed to it. And for Cool G Rap to sit there and spit something fire and say, nah, I'm just going to make sure that we show that this is a technique to this, there's a skill to this.
Mm-hmm.
And having him do that and spearhead that campaign for a moment. You know what I mean? And so for me, but NOG and the Bulldogs, like people like may not ever know these rappers, but NOG and the Bulldogs, they had a song called "Be a Father to Your Child."
Yeah.
It had the horns too, bam, 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 but it was, be a father to your child. Now imagine walking around on your headphones, man. Be a father to your child, and I'm talking about the same way. This is pop, lock, and drop it. You saying, yo, be a
Yeah.
father. You were just as that was even harder. But what happened is that yeah, it was on a countdown for about 3 months, and we started feeling that. And yeah, they took it off the countdown. We never heard about Ed and the Bulldogs, and that song will go down in obscurity. But it's such a powerful song.
Okay.
KRS-One. KRS-One is known for what? The South Bronx for shutting down Queensbridge, right? But you know what?
Mm-hmm.
One of the most important songs he ever did? Love's Gonna Get You. You know how many of us it was on that edge saying, I'm gonna go sell drugs because it's easy to do. But then him to describe it and paint the picture so vivid, where you understood if I go this route, these are my options.
Yeah.
And you seen it, you felt it, but to be able to sit there and hear it in an audible sense where it allows you to feel it, envision it, and say, you know what? No. So that's where even So Love hip hop comes from. So Love. Because love's gonna get you. If I didn't embrace love of self, I would have been out there too. Yeah, I was a duffel bag boy without the duffel bag.
Mhm.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I was a latchkey kid. I got on the trains at 7 years old, had keys, you know what I mean? Did things I had to do because my mom was a single, a working mother. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say she was single because my stepfather was there, but she was a working mother, and they worked a lot of
Mm.
hours. And if you're a young boy, what are you doing? You out and about. I'm in the streets. I
Yeah.
wanna pop lock. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
want to throw linoleum on the floor. I wasn't into the graffiti, but my boys was. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
touching all elements of hip hop, being able to go out and dance, and older artists would be like, "Yo, come over here and dance. I want to take a picture with y'all," something like that. He was like a little kid in play. I'm light skinned with a flat top. My boy dark skinned with a short flat top. But these are hip hop moments, and
Mm.
I just want people to get back to hip hop being its true form. And
So,
for me, it's interesting because like, what's my contribution to hip hop is just reminding people that it's love. It's you loving yourself. I spell love with a U because it's not about me. It's about you too. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
right.
And I think a lot of us as artists forget that. You know what I mean? We could be draped in ego. That's why, and I'm pretty sure we know what's going on with Kanye, and I'm pretty sure that's such a hot button topic for us as people.
Mm.
But the thing is, these are things that really matter because he is representing us on that stage,
Mm-hmm.
right? Rapper Kanye West. When they say rapper, when they attach a rapper to your name, DJ, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, or IG influencer, who are they talking about?
Yeah.
Hip hop. Whether it's not about even color anymore. It's about what community you represent. We got how many people of all colors, all ethnic backgrounds that embrace hip hop. Hip hop is the number one venue to express ideas, to market and brand product. It's hip hop right now.
Mm-hmm.
So what he's doing is, and I tell people, it's not that he's lying and being disrespectful. What he's doing is he's saying the stuff that we all know, But the thing is this, you bought in already. You bought their money. When you get to billionaire status, that means you bought into the program. You've excelled. You've exceeded the program. So you can't get to the point where you sell the program and say, well, I really don't really like the program, and this is what's going on, because now you let us in who didn't get to that point in on a secret. It just affirmed it. Because as long as it's speculation, cool. But once you affirm it, yeah, I'm here. I've been here. I'm at those tables. And now I'm speaking on it. I'm going to be penalized for it. And guess what? They didn't penalize them when they said slavery was a choice. When he sat there, but you notice, he said the real point that I don't hear people saying, when he said the real anti-Semitic statements is when I talk about killing my brother and fucking my bitches.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most anti-Semitic shit we could say.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess if you subscribe to the Black Israelite thing or whatever, but okay. But but yeah, sure.
But think about it. Are we not embracing gang culture? Are we not embracing those things over everything else?
When you say describe embrace, like
that's where our marketing dollars go. Our gross as a gross national product as hip hop, what is getting the majority of the money?
So you mean what? Like what sells the most?
Sales, marketing, branding. When you think about hip hop, they say hip hop is the most dangerous job on the planet right now. Why? Because how many rock and roll people do you know are getting killed by their own culture and their music community? How many folk singers you know are doing that?
Yeah.
Right. So what I'm saying is we have to identify. We've embraced a culture that is detrimental to our well-being as a civilized society. We've embraced it. That's where our money goes.
Yeah.
So I'm not thinking this. I'm gonna say my age. I'm 44 years of age. I got a daughter 26, right? We were talking one time and she said hip hop. You know, there's certain artists with little and young I don't like to listen to. It's not audible to my ears. It doesn't sound good. It doesn't feel good. So unfortunately, I can't listen to it. It's not that I don't want to. It doesn't feel good. Yeah. So I say, nah, I don't want to listen to that in my house. Dad, you stole the hip hop. You supposed to? How dare you say that? You know, like you don't want hip hop in your house? Come on, Dad, that's crazy. No, it's not that. It's just that it don't resonate with me. She's like, well, it's not supposed to. You're an old cat now. You old. The hip hop is for the youth, for the young generation. The music y'all want to hear as old heads, y'all got to make that shit. Instead of y'all telling the young people to find a voice for you. That's unfair. There's still some of us here in our 40s who look up to Tupac. I don't look up to Tupac. I was inspired by Tupac. But I can no longer look up to a 25-year-old man who wasted his life by being violent and putting out some bad energy. Because he could have been so much more. You know what I mean? But we took him out. So I can't look up to him after he's my past. I was inspired with lessons that I learned from Tupac. You know, he said, I may not change the world, but I'm going to light and spark the mind of the person that will. That's the energy we're supposed to carry with us. So at 40 years old, I'm supposed to be looking up to Tupac. I'm supposed to be trying to be like Tupac. I'm supposed to take that message and elevate that message and continue it. So what I'm saying is that the reason why we subscribe to it is because that's the most acceptable medium when it comes to us. What is love and hip hop? Does it represent love and hip hop? Or does it represent what? Disrespect of our people? Does it show that we can't communicate? Does it show us in the best of light? No, it does not. But they promote it as love and hip hop. That's what I'm talking about. So look, I'm not hating. I gotta acknowledge. Has this been good for me? Does it feel good when I hear it? You know, there's certain songs where I have to turn out the lyrics completely, just hear the beat, just so I can get through it. But if I digested what they told me, come on, man, come on. Like I tell people it's funny because music-wise, my music is usually positive, soulful, and it motivates. But at the same time, I can move a crowd. I move crowds. It's not so, and I tell you, there's a balance between some good positive shit and some lit shit. But I got enough energy and I feel it so much for all my people. I think that the people in the audience feel it too. You know what I mean? So I put something out there, but I'm not trying to destroy your spirit. I'm trying to, hey, how can I invigorate you? How can I receive you for who you are? And I want to celebrate you while I'm on the stage as well.
But you know, it's
when
funny
I
though.
talk about, you know what this is? You know what this is? You come over here, I'm gonna shoot your ass. I'm gonna do this and that. You know, two blunts of pads. All right, yeah. But at a certain point, not all of us can be that.
Right.
How would I sound being 44 years old saying, yo, yeah, I'm fucking mad bitches. I'm out here on the street corner, I'm getting it. Yo, look at me like, look at this bum ass nigga. Who the fuck is this dude? And he wants to represent us? Fuck out of here. That's what I'm gonna get, the FOH. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Hmm. But
what I'm saying is,
yeah, but I was gonna say, like, me growing up, I had an interesting relationship with hip hop because, while my mom was in the Air Force, my uncle was taking care of me.
okay,
So he was listening to, the G Funk and UGK and all that stuff. But the thing I noticed about them was like, yeah, they're spitting toxicity or whatever, but it's like what's it called? It's more like, it was like authentic, you know what I'm saying? Like, like you had like the drug rappers talking about, yeah, man, I got this money, I got these hoes or whatever. But like people like the rappers such as like UGK or something like that, they'll talk about the negative side of it too. You know what I mean? Like they'll expose that part of it. So I guess that's why, like with me, like when I heard gangster rappers, I'm like, well, okay, well, I can kind of separate the real from the fake because it's like they're at least talking about, the negative parts of it. Like, yeah, man, I lost some people. Yeah,
yeah,
some guys are doing 100 years because of it. Like, so in a way, in their own way, they're kind of teaching you, I mean, hey,
Yeah.
you're going to get this stuff, but you also got to deal with this bullshit as well, especially Scarface. He
right.
would talk about that as well.
And
So when you say like the whole embracing thing, is like, you got those artists who would have those lyrics, but it's just because you could tell that they actually been through it. It's not like they're spitting it just because. But yeah, like the people you're talking about, like the Lils and all that, yeah, they probably are just spitting it just because it's valuable, like monetarily, So
And
okay,
it's
that's what I was
weird.
wondering.
It's a weird thing to like. I don't know, because for me, being the youngest dude here, I'm 24. Hip hop has always been there. You know what I mean? Like I feel like, and I've grown up with every aspect of hip hop. You know what I mean? Like me coming up, I feel like either the generation right before me or my generation was the ones who was embracing the littles and all that stuff. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And for real, I don't know. It's hard because I do feel like you a lot of the times, right? Like where I do just want to embrace positivity and stuff. And yes, sometimes I'll get mad too when people my age or younger will get mad at a rapper who tries to do stuff like that. Like case in point, like Chance the Rapper put out an album. Now I know it wasn't the best album, but he put out an album that was full of mostly positive stuff in his life, and people, I mean, his career ain't never really recovered the same
I
after. You know
agree.
what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, and so I do get mad at stuff like that. But then also, it's gonna sound ignorant, but I really don't mean it to be. There are times where I do just want to listen to like the littles and stuff because sometimes I do need not really a break, more so of like a palate cleanser from just
Yeah, like to turn your brain off, kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah. There's times I definitely need that, and like I said, me being the youngest dude here, that probably shows my age or whatever. And I'm starting to kind of grow out of that just a little bit, but I feel like I always kind of felt like I think we do need that balance. You know what I mean? We do
I
need
agree.
even if we don't need all of those type of rappers, I think you do need to sprinkle some of them
We
in
do.
because
I agree.
sometimes
I agree with that.
because
I agree.
sometimes I need to have fun. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
Hey,
No,
bro,
I
separate
agree.
the
I
song
was
from
listen, I
kind of.
was having a deep conver. First, I was listening to a bunch of R&B. Then I had a deep conversation, and my mood was just down. So I just turned on goddamn Big Boogie. I'm thugging and
There you
started
go.
rolling.
And it can,
Dramatically
but
better.
I feel you. I feel that though. That's hip hop. That's hip hop.
That's what I'm
Hmm.
saying. Like every
But it was
once in a
just a
while,
cathartic. You know what I mean? Like that
What?
that that beat and the bass. It just
once in a while, I'll throw a Waka Flocka hard in the paint, and I'll be like, I'm getting
oh,
funky.
this is
But
boogie.
but at least Walker's not lying. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
You know
But
what
I
I'm
think,
saying?
but the thing is this. Even for me, like I got a song called WTF, right? And it goes, "What the fuck," right? So now I'm so loved. So the thing is this, I need that energy. Like it's part of it. What I'm saying is that it's not acceptable. Like when that's the only level of music that has been acceptable, and that's where most of the marketing dollars, with
Hmm.
98%
Yeah.
of the marketing dollars are going to. If people are making billions of dollars, why are there starving artists out there still? That means we
Yeah.
haven't created a structure where people have figured out a way to eat in the
My
most
Hmm.
in the best
like,
sense.
like, and maybe it's not a rebuttal. Maybe I'm agreeing with you, but it's like most Def said, hip hop don't move without us. Hip hop,
We are hip hop,
hip
right?
don't, and hip hop isn't dictated by the artist because the moment we decide, like as the people decide that we're not listening to gangster music and gangster music is never gonna make no more money, then
Yeah,
everybody's gonna be making positive songs. Cause like the artist is going pretty much the true artist wants to offer art that's going to be accepted by the people.
yeah,
The
yeah,
other artists want to make money, so it's all dictated by the people at the end of the day. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, so it's
I
just like
agree.
I feel like once the people decide, and I feel like there's always has been times where the people made a decision. Like in the
Right.
'90s, you know what I mean? Like you had a lot of that Garveyism like type of movement, like power,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Cause I'm
Like
black,
Jimmy
y'all, and I'm black,
Clive,
y'all. Yeah.
and then I feel like and I feel like even when B was talking about with the littles and how kind of like trap music and southern, it was like that vibe of southern music is hurting hip hop was going out there, and I don't really agree with that. But
No,
then
I
you
don't agree with that either.
but then you saw like it got to a point where like you got to D4L, and I feel like people were just like, okay, gotta be some lyricism, and then you see the emergence of like currencies and things of that nature.
Hmm.
And what's my
Mm-hmm.
man's name from Mississippi? I'm
Oh,
trying to think
crit.
of Crit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Correct.
the people always decide at some point, like, okay, enough is enough.
I'm
You
ready for something
gotta
else.
go. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
And
Now, so love.
and
May
I,
I ask you this?
yeah,
Like, like, I guess, like, what do you think has more control? Like, I guess, like, would you say it's the machine, or would you say it's like the demands from
the
the
machine.
audience?
I think
Because,
we've given the power to the machine.
yeah,
Mm.
I think we've so who has more control right now? The machine does, because the machine is a lot is we're on Instagram. We're on the machine. That's
Mm-hmm.
dictating what matters, what algorithms, and what who's going to be shadow banned, what algorithms we're going to use, what algorithms we're not going to use. So when you think about the machine itself is in control, but we gave the power to the machine.
that's a fact.
You know,
Uh,
I feel
so
like, because people are buying, like the
they're
so-called
streaming it.
bad energy, or streaming it nowadays. Yeah, streaming now. Like they're like it's the people choosing to stream that shit these days. But
Are,
is it just the
are we?
marketing? Like, is it like,
But are we choosing to stream it, or did the algorithm that we put aside? Because we don't realize when we set up our phones, right? It's funny because I've been looking into a new phone recently. When we buy phones, right, just to go there, the algorithm. When we buy a phone, we give all these apps control over our information, our contacts,
mm,
whether we're using the app or not, right? So we sit a bunch of stuff. We program an algorithm into our phone, and the algorithm gives it to us. We do that with our streaming platforms. We do that with our
Yeah.
information, or all aspects. So for us, we already programmed. We put it into algorithm. We let the algorithm teach us. So we let the algorithm
right,
give us what they feel they want to give us. That's why
right,
it's
yeah.
important to create your own algorithm to
but then
combat that
But
algorithm.
that's the thing, though, right?
I have to
Because,
disagree, bro. I feel like this is the algorithm, bro, and this is
That
this is this is the thing. Basically, it's two computers. It's this computer telling these little computers what to go get. And once you tell that little computer what to go get, it's kind of hard to be mad at it for showing you the booty pictures
yeah,
a thousand
yeah,
times.
that's what I'm saying. Because like you
I
the
Right.
one
agree.
liking
I
those
agree.
tweets.
I
Nah,
agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel both because
I agree.
when I go
I
on
agree.
Twitter, I'll see certain tweets curated to me like funny stuff, and then every once in a while I'll be like, man, how do they know what tweets I'm liking? This is crazy. This is messed up.
Right, but it's
But
a
I made the
database. Yeah.
decision to like the original tweets that they learned off of. That's my fault. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And like, it all comes down to a bit of a personal responsibility type thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
it like I said, it's both working in conjunction with each other.
Mm.
It's like, yeah, you was talking about the machine and how, like, they feed us negativity. But, like, yeah, it's also our fault because we feed into the negativity. You know what I
And
mean?
that's what I was
Yeah,
saying.
because it's kind
If,
of like a
if,
chicken and an egg kind of thing, right?
and that's
Right.
and maybe I didn't express that properly, but what I'm saying is that's what I said. We gave the power to the machine.
That's a
You know what I
fact.
mean?
Yeah.
So it's a conjunction thing. It's all in conjunction. So
Yeah.
how do we take back the power? So
Yeah.
I agree with you. As I said, there's an algorithm that we program.
Right.
We grab the technology they give us. We program that algorithm. We give them information based upon what we think we want them to do. Right?
Yeah.
We do it, and then now, like you said, we can't complain about the program. We program ourselves. It's this mind. That's what I
Yeah.
mean by creating your own algorithm.
Yeah.
That's what hip hop has always been. See,
Yeah.
for me, and that's why I'm a because soul hip hop is hip hop to me. Everything to me is hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me to say I create my own algorithm, it was hip hop is saying find your own beat, no matter your struggle, no matter
Mm.
what your environment you come from, you find your own rhythm, you find your own beat, and you
Right.
move to that, and you stand firm in that, and say I'm gonna do what I need to do to make sure I'm good. That's
Yeah.
hip hop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As primal as I can say it. That's what
Yeah.
hip hop is. One time, you
Opposing
know,
deep boy stance too.
yes, don't say, don't say, don't say, don't say, son. You know what I mean? But that's the see, and for me, that love, like for me, I like to laugh. I like to be
Yeah.
serious. I like to educate. I like to entertain. It's so many different aspects. I tell people we're all we're like inverted prisms. We're
Yeah.
all of us.
Yeah.
Based upon the light, that's how people see you.
Mm.
You know
Yeah.
what I
Yo,
mean?
you
So
better different. Okay, like can you give us a deeper understanding of that? You said inverted prism.
like a prism, how you turn a prism, the light will reflect off the prism. There's many sides. Is
Yeah.
as many sides the prism is made. It's not like one side, like 100 sides. Based upon how big the prism is, it just how does it light reflects off of this prism.
Okay.
So based upon when people perceive you, you're the
Yeah.
prism, but you're inverted because you take that in. You take their projection instead of reflecting it back onto them. We usually take it in. So
Mm.
that's why it's an inverted prism because we're taking in other people's perspective of who we are based upon the light that they see us in.
Mm.
Mm.
So I also worked on some sociology programs where I'm trying to help people like improve their quality of life using the essence of hip hop. I
Okay.
have some tried and true social experiments that I've actually have applied. So it is more than just about the music for me. It's about
Mm.
how do we come together? How do we get to a point where and I do have papers, I have assessments, I have
Yeah.
exercises that can help a person get from point A to point B. And it's kind of like that Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde kind of thing. Like I applied it on myself, but then I took it
Mm.
to the dark side. So now I was
Yeah.
like, all right, let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. So now how I do it with a moral compass that's strong and firm.
Mm.
How do you get to a mountain? How do you accomplish a goal and get to the mountaintop and still stay true to who you are? Like that Kobe Bryant statement when he said to Kanye West, "Are you still the same animal but a different beast?" He says, what, he said, it's funny because we said, what does that even mean? I received when he said it, I received it.
Yeah.
What
Mm.
he's
Yeah.
saying is, do you still have that same hunger that you had, the same drive that you had to get you here? But
Mm.
now that you are here, can you take that? Now you are a different beast. Are you everything that you said you was going to be? And now that you have the chance to be there, are you going to be? Because now you're in a realm you've never been in before.
Mm.
Yeah.
So are
Yeah.
you the
Yeah.
same animal but a different beast?
Mm.
Yeah.
Anytime we accomplish a goal, that's what we're doing. I was an
Mm-hmm.
animal. I need to be animal. I need to go on this grind. I need to do this and that. And I do it. And I accomplish something. Now, am I the same animal? Nah, I'm not. I'm not. I accomplished something that I didn't accomplish before. So
Right.
now I can be this different beast. Now I can sit there and say, all right, cool. I'm firm in what I accomplished. Now I can actually expend it. I can present it to the world.
People don't
So
commercial really is real. Like that's like a national treasure. That need to be in the Smithsonian or some shit.
Now,
agree.
I actually wanted to touch on you were saying now you've curated like sociology programs, I guess, like to help people and stuff.
Yes.
So now, where you say you use hip hop for it, so like I guess I kind of want to like a more like a concrete like explanation. Like, are you saying you curate playlists for these goals, or do you use like multiple factors in it?
I use all different aids depending on a person because it is individualized. I used to
Mm-hmm.
work in a program, UCP of Central Florida, and it
Okay.
was a college program. And what it was, a college experience program. And what it taught me was that sometimes everybody is the Individual Disability Education Act.
Okay.
Idea. Basically, it tailors the individual curriculum based upon this person's level of understanding and how they process information. So
Mm-hmm.
the thing about life in general is we all have to learn how to communicate. If we can communicate our needs, our wants, we are on the verge of success. If you can't communicate what you need and want, you will never be successful in anything.
Mm-hmm.
So what the whole policy is how do you communicate? What is they say love language? No, what is your language? How do you process
Mm-hmm.
information and how do
Yeah.
you relay information? So what I do in this program is I have a couple of things where I have worked with some sociology professors, a couple of doctors, a couple of therapists, and
Mm-hmm.
we sat down. We actually built the program. Now they went about their business, but I kept on and I took what I
Yeah.
needed to take from it and I created my own thing. And it's like basically saying, how do I communicate with you on a level where you will
Mm-hmm.
sit there and be open to what I'm saying? You know how many
Yeah.
times people give you self-help books and they give you stuff and
Mm-hmm.
like, here you go, and
Yeah.
then they tell you, well, you can't make it, but if you give me a fee of $199, I'll continue on with this. But it's like, I need it. If it's something I need and it's
Right.
something that's gonna help improve my quality of life, yeah, there should be some compensation in it, but it should be some tangible results along with it. And you to
Right.
see this is where my dollar's going. I
Mm-hmm.
my program is I want to offer you a sweater. You walk around with a Soluv hip hop sweater. You go through the program, and for 3 months you have support to get
Mm-hmm.
you through from A to C. Because from that point on, you got to get to Z.
Right.
Okay.
But a lot of us, we don't know how to even start. So what the program basically is basically how do I assess your ability to communicate, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you perceive information?
Okay.
And what are you willing to do to structure your life for the things that you want out of life?
Okay.
So going through that 3-part program, I've noticed that it actually helps people in so many tangible ways. So I haven't figured out how to way to monetize it since I've been in Atlanta. So I
Mm-hmm.
kind of do it sporadically, but at the same time, I've helped a few people, say about at least 25 to 35 people
Okay.
improve their quality of life using this process.
Wow. That's great.
And
So,
But
oh, go
uh,
ahead.
got plans on expanding, going into maybe public schools or anything with it?
I would love to. What I've been doing is, and I'll be honest with you too, like this year I had to focus on being able to present my music, like get my music on all streaming platforms. Getting back to performing because that's what I love to do. Like my performances, I think that's my key. Like with those artists be like, oh, I'm a lyric, I can freestyle, I can do this, I can do this, I can perform my ass off, I can move that crowd.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I need to get back to that. I need to remind myself that I can do that again. At the same time, stabilize my existence. Now I'm in a position in my life because life has forced me to stay stagnant enough where I sit there and say, all right, going forward, it's either this or I can't do it anymore. And
Mm.
for me, hip hop is life. So I have to do it. I have to continue on. So where I'm going is to expand, yes. I'm looking to expand as much as possible. I'm just taking 2 steps back right now, so that I can make a great leap forward and I can present it the way it needs to be presented. Because it also is not just educational, it's edutainment. I want to
Right.
educate, entertain. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? I want to be able to sit there and have moments like this in a forum where everybody gets a chance to say, hey, look, I got a business plan. This is what I'm trying to do. And how can I have the support of my colleagues or the people who want to
Whew.
invest their time and energy into me?
Yo, holla at me. I be knowing some people, bro.
Okay, well, we definitely holler because what I want to do is I wanted to tap in. I like what you guys are doing. I would say is I've had the opportunity to see a little bit before today. So, but I have always wanted to like participate in a scenario such as this, you
Oh.
know, and to have a forum because every time like I don't think like Tenzin, I've met Tenzin in many venues, but he knows every time I go there, you can look at the way I move. You know
Mm-hmm.
how I move. I
Don't
move with love. I'm not just talking it. I'm being it. You know what I mean? When people see me, people don't sit there and be like, oh, that's that nigga that's so love. That's that nigga so love. Fuck out of here. They're like, yo, that's so love right there.
Yeah,
They give me love. Yo, what's up? And
it's
I'm like,
true. I've seen it.
it's been consistent. It's not just in one building. It's everywhere I go because I've been consistent in who I am. And like I said, it's not just about me; it's about you too. So, and I let people know that I have love for my brothers. So for me, it's hard when I sit there and I perform. I tell people, I say, it's about soul and love. If you got soul and love, you're gonna rock with me. If
Right.
you don't, why do I give a fuck what you think? You ain't got soul or love in you. Do
Yeah.
you matter?
Right. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. That's how I embrace. I take the power out of the machine's hands.
Mm-hmm.
Because I draw the line in the sand right then. The
Yeah.
line in the sand is this: if you got soul and love, you may rock with me.
Yeah.
If
Mm-hmm.
you look at if you hear my music say, actually, this whack, cool, but you're gonna say, but it did make me feel something,
Right.
Yeah.
and usually gonna make you feel good.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. You may not rock with it, it may not be a cup of tea, but you can't say that shit is whack. Oh,
Yeah.
that shit is whack. I didn't get nothing out of it. I'd rather somebody feel something. I've had people tell me, yeah, it sounds old school, sounds 90s. Yeah? Well, guess what? When I turn my radio on, I still hear music from the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
hear music from 2019 all the time. How many songs from 2019 you don't hear on the radio anymore? One of my favorite songs was Wit. 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 You hear that song?
Hell
I don't
no.
hear that. Wit. Wit. That shit was on the radio anytime. That's all. And for me, all it was wit. Wait, that's all that wait, you know? So like I said, I received it. That wasn't one of the songs that was like that just horrible, but it was funny to me. It
Mm-hmm.
had a
Yeah.
sound to it. It made me feel a certain way. It made me want to move. Wait, it still makes me want to move.
That song.
But it's not classic.
That song. That was a dope ass song.
It was, but but it was bad. It's not classic, it's
Right.
not timeless.
That's
Mm-hmm.
that's crazy because back in '09, like they played Duro to death, that ice cream paint job, and now you don't hear that shit no more. I'm like,
At
yo, what happened to
all.
Duro? Like,
Right. And that's what I mean, the difference between classic material. So I'd rather
mm-hmm.
somebody say your shit remind me of the 90s than they
Yeah.
remind something current right now, because the 90s stuff, guess what? You still listen to it.
Right.
When people listen to people who wasn't even born when Tupac was born, or people wasn't born Biggie was born, they rocking to Juicy,
Right.
Juicy. That's timeless. So I want to make that kind of music so that people can sit there and say, like, for me, the cool thing was when my moms and my grandmas were like, that don't sound bad. Not even, oh, that
Yeah.
shit is good. It don't sound bad. You know why? Because to them, everything past their prime is
Mm-hmm.
horrible.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go to that. Play that again.
Like, brother,
That
you
means, oh
turn off
shit.
that
That means you
noise.
heard the sound. You heard it. You know.
That
But
damn hip hop.
I do want to spit. I do want to say something else. Hip hop. How much hip hop has impacted me. Eminem. In '95, I was in Connecticut. All right, '96. I was in '96, '97 when his album came out. First album came out '97, I believe it was.
Yo,
I was in
Infinite.
Connecticut at the time. I was
Infinite.
a new father. Me and my baby mama wasn't, doing well.
Of
And she did
course.
some things where her boyfriend pulled a gun on me. I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna kill everybody." I did. I'm not afraid to admit it. That I ain't do nothing, and statute of limitations is up. It's been,
I was gonna say,
It's the
whoa
part.
now.
It's the part where you said I did, where I
Oh,
was like,
yeah.
Yeah, it's the part. Hey! I said I put the gloves on, but nothing happened, so I can
I was
speak
about to
about it.
say, you said
Oh,
I
okay.
did. I was like,
I put the
Oh
gloves
shit.
on, and I was. But what happened is now I'm in Connecticut,
With
right?
legal
And I'm
team
and
ain't
under these.
formed yet. Right? We don't got a legal team yet. It's just us.
Nah.
All
We good.
right.
This is a wonderful story. It's a beautiful story. Beautiful story. All right,
you
it's a
could.
beautiful story though. And nothing happened where we got to report. Don't worry.
All right, cool.
So, but let's say this. So my boy, he saw me and he said, "Yo, dude, pull the gun on you. You ain't got a gun. I'm gonna give you a gun." My boy, Lyrics, rest in peace. He was down with the Latin Kings. He was a gang member. He didn't give a shit. He gave me a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So now I'm sitting there. I got a gun in my gun compartment. But he says, before you go, give me a cassette. So listen to this white boy Eminem. Puts it in, says, hey, he rides it to rock bottom. He says, but does it to 97 Bonnie and Clyde. You have to listen to that. Before you do anything crazy tonight, go listen to 97 Bonnie and Clyde. And I did. And when I listened to it, right, it was so vivid.
Yeah.
Each step, I drove around listening to 97 Bonnie and Clyde, right, instead of going out and killing my family.
Mm.
Mm.
Now, as a man, they say, what made you think to do that? No, that wasn't my daughter, no. But her mother and him, he had to go. I'd have been one.
Yeah.
But listening to 97 Bonnie and Clyde, going through every aspect of that song, talk about doing it, you know what I thought to do? I thought to do something, but I didn't have to because the song was so vivid. I lived those feelings. I had it. I can close my eyes right now and envision it, you know? But guess what? I fell asleep in the car that night, chilling,
Man.
smoked the blunt, whatever. And guess what? My daughter's now 26, got a master's degree. She's a beautiful young lady, and I didn't destroy her life.
I'm
That's
holding
hip
I'm
hop.
holding the phone. There we go. That's all I can do.
That's hip hop. Hey, what up, Big Flo? Yo, thank you very much for joining us, man. And if I am Slick, thank you very much. I am Slick. I appreciate you, yo. No, I appreciate my peoples, man.
So
Yeah.
we on the 5-minute warning, man. Zuck likes to hate on us, so
Oh no, no, no!
yeah.
I definitely dig it. And so, if I had to say this, if I got 5 minutes to share time with y'all, is I just feel like right now we are in a place where we can either evolve or de-evolve. We can either take the moments like the death of Kevin Samuels, what's going on with Kanye West, what we see what's going on with the women in our culture, WAP, this new thing about the red pill culture, and it's not. We just got to get to a point where we start talking, but we got to stop pointing the finger and point the thumb. If you point the thumb, what happens is this. This is what makes us human, right? This is what gives us domain over every other species on this planet, right? This thumb. But it also allows us to do this. So we can use this thumb to build, or we can just keep pointing the finger. Because that's what we've been doing. So when we talk about hip hop, you said personal accountability. So I appreciated everything you said because I may come at it from a different angle, but overall, I want you to know I heard you. I'm glad that y'all gave me a platform to speak. You know, thank you very much because y'all earned it by your consistency and hard work for people to hear what you guys say. But for me to be a guest, I appreciate that. But I do want to say that to have a platform to be able to speak about hip hop or speak about what matters to me as a black man who's going through things, but to be able to sit there and say, this is my truth. And my truth has always been hip hop.
Yeah.
So when I say the whole idea of my name is SOLUV, HIPHOP, I spell it out because it is soul. It's SOL, soul love it. In order for me to do right, I gotta soul love. If I'm hating and I don't like, I soul love. You know what I mean? I'm fighting for my life. I soul love. I put soul and love together to actually do the things that's required for me so I can be the best I can be. And sometimes I come up short.
Yeah.
But I still
We
strive.
all do.
Yeah.
Perfectly imperfect. But brothers, I say this. This was lovely for me, but y'all let me know, y'all let me know because I love to talk, as y'all can see.
Hey,
Yeah.
I
I love to
enjoyed
talk.
every
They call
minute.
me,
Hey,
Hey, this
but
was great.
thank you very much.
only thing is whack is when we get those guests on here that can't talk. You like, oh,
Oh my gosh. I'm ready to just strangle them through the phone like.
But you said you wanted to come here and talk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of times too, people is this. I've noticed a lot of people like to talk but don't have nothing to say.
right.
They like to hear the they just like to hear the volume of their voice, but there's no substance in it. I also don't think in one way. I think in dimensions.
Yeah.
We live in a 3D world, so I think in dimensions. So I can look at it from a physical place. I can look at it from a cultural place. I can look at a business place. That's why I still love hip hop.
Yeah.
But I would like to leave this last note though. I come from a place in time where hip hop was a privilege. You said being younger that you just all you knew. You grew up, hip hop was there. The first time I heard NWA, I was in South Carolina. My mother would not let me listen to the NWA. So when I went, but I remember listening to it for the first time and hearing "fuck the police," that it did something. What I'm trying to say is there's a time and place for everything, but the best thing we can do is just embrace the best of us and
Yeah.
give them a platform as well.
Yeah.
Man. And that's a good note to end that on. Thank you, so love. Thanks everybody
Thank
who
you so much,
joined.
bro.
All right. Like and subscribe, hit the notification bell.
Make sure
Peace.
y'all follow everybody.
Thank you, Reggie.